Okay, Mayor, the meeting is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. We certainly want to welcome everyone to the Vinton Town Council meeting for this Tuesday evening, September 15th, 2020. And Susan, I understand you have some required information you need to deliver.
Yes. Roll call of council, please. Councilmember Lyles.
Here.
Councilmember Mullins.
Here.
Councilmember Stovall.
Here.
Vice Mayor McCarty.
Here.
Mayor Gross.
Here.
We do have a quorum of council. Town staff that are present: Pete Peters, Susan Johnson, Ann Cantrell, Chief Drummond, Joey Heiner, and Chastity Barber. Also present, Jeremy Carroll, our town attorney, and Debbie Adams with the Vinton Messenger. I'd like to confirm that our meeting is being held in accordance with Town Ordinance number 1016 and Amendment 28 to House Bill 29, adopted at the 2020 reconvened session of the Virginia General Assembly, and everyone present is participating by electronic means. Mayor, back to you.
Okay, thank you very much. Folks, as has become our tradition here in the town of Vinton, we use a moment of silence. That way everyone can pray as they see fit. And during that time, if you pray, and certainly hope you will, I plan to, I would ask you to keep this country, this community, and this council meeting tonight in your thoughts and prayers. And I'll close our moment of silence. After that, if you would stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and it's also become tradition for Councilmember Lyles to lead us in that. Perhaps he should say that by himself, otherwise it sounds like a bunch of screaming cats. So we will be respectful and we'll let Councilmember Lyles take the lead on that. So if you'll stand for a moment of silence and the pledge, please. Thank you, Father, for the country in which we live and the community. And we just pray that you'll be with our country and our community in the meeting here tonight. For it's in his holy name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, folks. Next item on the agenda is our upcoming events, and typically our Vice Mayor has that list. Sabrina?
Announcements. This Friday is September the 18th. The center presents a play at home series featuring the farmers market. You can go to the Vinton Farmers Market and see that, or at home. They will have a food truck there. Munsey's Smoke Shack will be there. There will not be alcohol served. However, Twin Creeks is right there if anyone wishes to go to that. And that's from 7 to 10 p.m. and the admission is free. And then September 26th, there's a mingle at the market. It's Adam Rutledge. That's from 7 to 10. October the 3rd, the Fall Festival is 10 to 4. The History Museum will also be open that day. And they encourage for you to come there. October the 6th is National Night Out, which will be at the War Memorial from 6 to 8. And October the 10th, the Mingle at the Market, the Oddfellows Band from 7 until 10. So again, just to make sure everyone understands, this Friday night, it's a live stream concert. You can go to the farmer's market if you would like. There will be a food truck there, the Smoke Shack, and you can visit Twin Creeks as well. And the admission is free, and do bring your own chairs for that event. And I think the Benton History Museum, I mentioned, is going to be open during the Fall Festival event, and they will have their holiday shop that day. So they'll be there from 10 until 4, and that will be a rain or shine event because they'll have it inside. I did have one question that I wanted to ask. I've had a couple of questions about the Halloween trick or treat. Can anybody bring me up to speed on exactly what we'll be doing that night? Looks like we may be doing a movie night. Pete?
Pete or Chastity, either one.
Chastity, please provide an update. Thank you.
Okay. So for this year, we will replace the downtown trick-or-treating with a movie night. So if you look on the calendar, it is actually going to say downtown trick-or-treating is on the 29th. And what we're going to do is just provide a free movie and the War Memorial in the lawn of the War Memorial. So we have the big movie screen and all that good stuff. Benton Baptist Church has joined in with us, and they will be providing the prepackaged popcorn, waters, and juices. So this will be a total free event, and we will probably, I don't know times exactly right now, but I'd say around 7-ish.
Awesome.
I didn't mean to announce anything that wasn't already in the works, but I've had several people ask me, so I wanted to know if we needed to at least mention that we are planning something. So thank you, Chastity.
Yeah.
I think that's all, unless Pete or Chastity has anything else.
Yep.
Well, Sabrina, I will only add that the town does not regulate neighborhood door-to-door trick-or-treating. So that would be up to the individuals to make that decision whether or not they would like to participate in handing out candy or go door-to-door with their children for that typical Halloween activity.
And if I may add, I'm sorry, I didn't even mention this earlier, but the flyer, sorry, we're in the middle of making the flyer. So for the event, we will encourage the kids to still wear their Halloween costumes, so they'll still be able to wear it at the movie night. And we'll do some contests and stuff like that.
Okay.
Well, that'll be fun.
Yeah. As always, a lot going on in Benton, that's for sure. Anyone else have any announcements? No? All right. Thank you, Sabrina and Chastity. We appreciate that information. Next item is request to postpone or change anything on the agenda. You folks have any changes you want to make? All right. Hearing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda. I don't see anything listed for tonight. So with that, we'll move on to the awards and introductions. And I got something very special tonight, as a matter of fact. Council, this past week, on Thursday of last week, as a matter of fact, I had the pleasure of meeting an incredible young man by the name of Judah Clements. Judah, who is only 6 years old, recently started a lemonade business by the name of Judahbug Lemonade. The idea was sparked when Judah noticed a group of middle school students practicing soccer near his home, and he and his father decided they were in need of some extra hydration and felt a lemonade would really hit the mark. So his dad, Philip, planned to start, along with Judah, a stand in the spring of 2020 once the new soccer season was underway. And of course, we all know what happened. That's the time that COVID-19 hit. And so since there was no soccer season, they weren't really able to set things up. But that did not stop Judah. He began to research the bottling options, and eventually that led him to purchase some equipment and create a website called judahbug.com. So we want to visit that if you get a chance, judahbug.com. And he's selling his product online in bottle and powder form. And all the proceeds go to benefit the Angels of Assisi. He's been recognized in the Roanoke Times, the Washington Post, MSN Money, and the U.S. News and World Report. So we're all very impressed by Judah and very proud of him and his entrepreneurial spirit. And I understand that he may be watching tonight. So if so, hello, Judah. And thank you for what you're doing in the community. I hope you'll keep up the great work, and we're all pulling for you, and we appreciate all your efforts. Very proud of you. Proud to have folks like you in the town of Benton. So I guess you guys saw the Judah Bug display there. It's pretty cool. Any other proclamations? Did you want to comment on that?
Yeah, if you don't mind, I'm sorry. I don't know if I have a delay in my iPad or not, but I have the pleasure of wearing Judah's shirt. He stopped by the farmer's market last night. I don't know if you can really see it. And he made sure that I got a shirt. So if he is selling these, and the proceeds go to Angels of Assisi. So if you would like one, send me a message and I'll make sure that I get you in contact with him.
Cool.
And thank you for everybody with him. That was great. It made his day to meet the police department, the town manager, and the mayor, of course.
It was a pleasure. It was a lot of fun. He was certainly a very special young man, that's for sure.
Thank you.
Okay, with that, we'll move on to the citizens' comments and petitions. Susan, have you received any comments prior to the meeting?
Mayor, no comments received for this meeting.
Okay, thank you very much. I don't see anything listed for the town attorney, but good to see you, Jeremy.
You as well, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And with that, we'll move on to the town manager section. So, Mr. Peters, if you would take over, please, sir.
Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council. We have just 2 items requiring action this evening. Ms. Cantrell is going to provide some comment on both of those items. The first being a resolution to authorize an agreement with Roanoke County to use the second portion of the CARES Act funding. Ms. Cantrell, if you'll provide some details to council, please.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and members of council. I'm pleased to present to you tonight a second agreement with Roanoke County for $706,693. That'll bring the total of both agreements to $1,413,386. That's great for the town of Benton. The agreement confirms that the use of the funds is only going to be on qualifying expenses as defined by the CARES Act. Any funds spent on ineligible items will need to be returned, and all expenses must be incurred by December 30th as required by the CARES Act. The town attorney has reviewed the agreement containing minimal changes from the first agreement that we approved. And if we do approve this agreement tonight, it will move to the Roanoke County Board next week for their official vote as well. Staff recommends approval of this agreement by authorizing the town manager to sign, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have on this project.
Okay, thank you, Ann. Council, you have any questions or comments?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make the motion.
I'm sorry, go right ahead, sir.
No, I'll make the motion, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. We have a motion for approval of the resolution as presented by Ann. Is there a second?
I'll second.
That sounded like a second.
Yeah, I'll
Susan,
second.
please call the roll.
Councilmember Lyles,
Yes.
Councilmember Mullins,
Yes.
Councilmember Stovall,
Yes.
Vice Mayor McCarty,
Yes.
Mayor Gross.
Yes. Sounds like we had
Sounds
some
like my
additional.
house over here.
I'm sorry. Somebody's at my front door. I'm going to mute you. Hold on.
Trick or treat.
I thought we were having some additional comments there. So. Yeah. All right. Back to you, Pete, I guess. Or Andy.
Okay. I think I'll just do a brief introduction and let Ann provide the meat of the subject. But the second item is for an agreement with Core Maine. And this is for the software and actual physical meters that would allow us to do remote reading, radio remote read for our water utility system. Ms. Cantrell.
Thank you. So again, on this project, it was one that we identified was eligible through the CARES program. We have ran that through our auditors in both Roanoke County. And so one of the reasons why we delayed this project originally is we had an 80% revenue loss on one of our top 10 water customers. And so we paused this project because of that revenue concern. We reached back out to Davenport and Company, and they completed the rate analysis originally for the town of Benton. So they are completing for us an analysis to continue into phase 2 of this project, because we're not going to be able to implement all of the meters by December 30th. So our goal with this is to upgrade all of the business accounts, and that would allow telework monthly by the employees, where they wouldn't have to go out into the field to get a reading. They could actually get readings from home, actually anywhere that they had a computer and internet. During the pandemic, it kind of became more apparent that we needed to move on this project quicker than we thought, because we did still have an employee going out in the field, and he was being approached by people while out in the field, or actually we had 2 employees who were reading. And so this kind of made it more justifiable that, yeah, we need to move forward so we don't have them at residences and exposed to possible risk. And thankfully, we had already completed the bid, and we had all of the process completed. So we did have a contractor, notice to proceed, already done with Core and Main. So staff would recommend the approval of the town manager to sign this contract, and that would allow us to move forward as soon as Roanoke County signs their contract next week. And I'm happy to answer any questions you might have on the meter project.
Okay, thank you, Ann. Council, any questions or comments? I might just say, as I usually do, we've already seen this information as council in case there's anyone looking in and think we pass over these things quickly, but council is already familiar with the content of these resolutions. So just wanted to pass that information along. And with that, we'll entertain a motion for the resolution as presented by Ann.
Mayor, I'll entertain the motion.
Okay. I have a motion by Councilmember Lyles. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. And we have a second by Councilmember Mullins. Susan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Lyles.
Yes.
Councilmember Mullins.
Yes.
Councilmember Stovall.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Sorry about that phone call. That was my 88-year-old mother.
Oh.
You know, I talked to her earlier. She's coming home Friday. So anyway, yes, I'm sorry.
No problem.
All right.
Vice Mayor McCarty.
Yes.
Mayor Gross.
Yes. Resolution passes. All right. Pete, did you have any other items of business this evening?
Well, I will only provide a quick update regarding the strategic plan that council adopted in July. Staff has been briefed. We have an expanded leadership team that we're meeting with on a bi-monthly basis, and we kicked that project off back in August, about the middle of August. But we have started working on that plan. Primarily, our primary focus is currently with the CARES Act funding. So several of the items that council had identified in the strategic plan were able to accomplish much sooner than we had originally anticipated because of the CARES Act funding, such as the software update that we had identified and the meter replacements. And then a lot of the other infrastructure rehabilitation we're kind of doing within our government buildings. So what we're going to do is continue to work on those. We have quite a robust timeline to get those projects accomplished over the next 3 months. And I would be remiss without saying how much I appreciate the staff in all aspects, from public works to finance to Donna in the HR risk management office, who is really kind of leading the charge on coordinating the timeline of those CARES Act projects. But we will continue to put those into play. We will provide council with regular updates on those items. And then in the first of the year, we will update our goals and objectives list, and we'll provide an update to council in the form of a work session, maybe in January, late January or early February. So I just wanted to let council know that we are actively working on those projects through the CARES Act, but it is a part of the strategic plan that you recently adopted. The only other items, I won't go into specific detail, but I will put on the screen the updates that were provided to council just over the last couple of days. There has been quite a bit of activity over the last, this is roughly a snapshot of about 2 weeks. So if there's any items that I can address for council regarding those updates, I'll be happy to do that. Otherwise, I will stop talking and pass it back on to council. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much, Peter. I appreciate that. And I think the list of items you have there, the information that's being passed along to council shows or gives us an idea of all the activity that's going on in town. Certainly a lot of things happening and a lot of work being done on the economic development front, as well as things that will benefit our entire town. So I appreciate everything that's being done. Our staff's doing a great job. I don't see anything listed. Thank you, Pete, for all that information. I don't see anything listed as far as council committees. So we're just going to the mayor's section tonight. Don't we have a whole lot, except that I think it's really important, as I mentioned earlier, to thank our staff. Mike's going to point out a few things a little bit later. And I just think our staff is doing a great job. We really are blessed. And as a matter of fact, even received comments from certain other elected officials in the Valley about what a great staff we have. So just really proud of everyone and appreciate the great job that they are doing. The other thing I did want to mention tonight, we heard the list of activities that Sabrina and Chastity were talking about, and there's a lot going on, so this might be a little bit early, but I do think it's wise for us to keep out in front of people that we are going to have a Christmas parade this year. It will be different in that it'll be a reverse parade. The floats and bands or whatever we have will be stationary. We'll ask people to drive through. I'm just really excited about that. That'll be on December 3rd as planned. And I understand that I know it's early on that Chastity and Angie have already started doing some work on that. And also want to thank Debbie at the Benton Messenger for the coverage recently. Last week, I guess it was, of the Christmas parade. And Chester, I don't know if you had anything you wanted to add at this time about that. I know we got so much going on that things for the Christmas parade are preliminary right now.
Mayor, I think Chastity stepped away. However, we did issue a press release earlier today with providing more details, and I'll be sure to share that with council tomorrow morning, but that went out to the typical media outlets. So more than likely we'll have some contact and hopefully get an opportunity to provide some more detail in the form of interviews. And as the date gets closer, we'll certainly reach out and make specific comment about how the activity will lay out. We'll provide some mapping, and there will be much more media exposure through social and traditional print and hopefully some TV coverage.
Right. Great. Sounds good. Things like that don't come together overnight. It takes months of planning. So it's good to hear that we're getting started on all of that. And with that, we will turn it over to council, and we'll start with the vice mayor. Do you have anything further to say?
I do. At Pinnacle, I have began to look at different programs that let me know what houses in our area are for sale. And I go on to Zillow. I'm specifically looking in the Vinton area because I have an employee that is wanting to move, and I'm encouraging her to come to the best place around and live in Vinton. But while I was doing that, I got an email the other day that actually said, look at all of these that have sold. And I tried to print them off and do my own figures since like June. And I did that. And this, of course, is nothing to put in the paper, Deb. Don't put this in the paper. But I came up with about 93 homes that were sold in the 24179 area since June. And the average price of those was $196,000. Now, of course, that's just my calculation. So today I went to someone who could really help me. And I texted Ann and I said, Ann, could we find out how that works? And she said, well, and she got right on it. She said, well, let me check. And I didn't really have to have it tonight, but I think that she has some numbers for us. And I just thought it would be interesting for her to share that, because I think that this is so important to know that people want to live in Vinton and that it's happening at a great, I mean, it's crazy that during COVID, this is really something that I think we can look at and be happy about. And by the way, the mortgage rates are low too. So if you're interested, let me know. But
that came from a banker, right?
Yeah.
Good for you.
And they have a little more information than what I did.
Yeah, sure. So I ran the figures today, and our IT is wonderful. So they helped me come up with this. 280 real estate transfers in the town of Vinton since January of 2020. That's in town limits, not just the zip code, just in our little town.
Wow. Yeah, because mine was just the zip code. So, and she, thank you so much, Ann. I just think that's something to be said.
Yeah. Yeah, that you're exactly right. As a matter of fact, a good example of how hot the market is in Vinton right now is the house across the street from where I live went up for sale. It sold in 2 days at $5,000 above the asking price. And so I think that's pretty impressive. Of course, when they found out I lived here, it's back on the market again.
The value decreased. Is that what you're saying?
No, they want some money.
They're giving it away.
Oh, man.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Oh,
but that's all I have.
Thank you for that.
That was very interesting.
Thank you. Very interesting. Thank you. All right, Lyles, anything further?
Yeah. Well, it's funny that Sabrina mentioned that, because I'm in a different Lisa. We're selling Lisa's house, or we thought we'd go ahead and sell Lisa's house, and it's doing the same that we were getting it ready, and she basically put out a Facebook teaser, and before we could even put it on the market, it sold in 2 hours at full price.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's great.
It is unbelievable, and which is really good for us. But yeah, hey, I do want to say that I think, with live things that go on that we do, caught off at the moment. I think I pledged the pledge tonight, and I hate that. So I wanted to stop and do it over again, but I just want I don't want to offend anybody. But when you don't do this every day and it's live, sometimes you mess up, and I apologize if I offended anybody with that. I called them.
We love you. Just know we love you. We still love you. We love you, dear.
No problem.
Yeah. So again, I didn't want to stop eating, but hindsight, I should have. But I do apologize.
That's okay.
And I echo your comments, Mayor, on the staff. We say it every single council meeting. Ever since I've been on council, we always have the best staff, and it shows through this pandemic too.
Yep, you're exactly right. No apologies necessary. You always do a great job, and you're right about the staff. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that. Councilmember Mullins, do you have anything further this evening?
Well, I would just say, Keith, you could have just played that off like you were having glitches with the internet. So that's kind of what I was thinking. So you could have just gone with that. Thank you all.
I did think about that.
Right.
like, yeah, I better come clean. Yeah.
Well, there you go. See, an honest politician. No,
right.
no.
Let's don't get carried away now. Let's take your foot off.
I was talking about Keith. All right. Thank you, guys. This is I think it's also a testament to the great staff that we have working behind the scenes. This meeting is short and sweet, and we had all the I's dotted and the T's crossed and knew what we were doing before we got here. So thank you all.
You betcha. Thank you very much. And Councilmember Stovall, it's your turn, sir.
Well, you thought it was going to be short and sweet, but I'm going to tell you what, that's still though. You know, I'm going to start out with the vice mayor's comment, and I may paraphrase it, but the best place to live. You know, talking about the town of Benton and the fact of the best place to live. And, you know, I'm going to start out tonight, and I'm going to talk about truly about the employees. You know, on a personal note, in our backyard on the first Saturday in May, my younger son's going to get married. And we've got some trees that we've got to get cut down. And, you know, so we made it a fun project. And over the weekend, we laid out, I called Mr. Heiner. We laid out the 6 foot lengths of those and had piles up there yesterday. And I thought I had his name, but anyway, I don't want to botch his name, but the bulk driver yesterday, there's no doubt about it that part of the stuff that he did went out into Mountain View Road. And yesterday afternoon, I was talking to one of my neighbors, or my neighbor across the street, and he commented about how he saw him out there cleaning up the things that were in the street. And you know, back to what the vice mayor said, the best place to live, and we all know this, we've heard people talk about, okay, the taxes and all this, but you know, it truly is around the service. And it's the service that our employees offer. You know, the second service that I want to talk about is the email that was sent out yesterday by the town manager about Sergeant Caldwell and the schools. And, you know, we know where the COVID is. We know how, if you don't know what traffic's like around the schools, drive around, go by there one morning and see how it is, and see what one police officer, sergeant, and the town has done as far as working with the traffic and doing that, which is absolutely great. And then I want to take my hat off to the trash guys. You know, I saw things yesterday. Actually, I had a guy come into town, back to what you were talking about as far as the houses were concerned. Let me pause for a moment. If somebody wants a nice house on Mountain View Road with a couple acres of land, come on. Patsy's not on this, but I'll be happy to sell it if you want a nice place. But anyway, you're talking about homes and a great place to live, and then looking at not only the services, like I said, the services that we truly offer, which is, you know, we've got to take our hat off to all of our employees. Do we pay you enough? No, we don't. Would I like to pay you more? I would. Can we? You know, everybody understands where we are as a government, but once again, you know, we all do, y'all do just an absolute great job and make us all look great. Mr. Mayor, you mentioned something about the Christmas parade. You know, thank you. Thank you to everybody that met with the chamber and decided that we were going to at least offer a virtual Christmas parade. You know, you read an article today in the Roanoke Times about the drumstick dash, to where it's going to be virtual. You can run the drumstick dash and turn your times in, but you're not going to be able to participate. So, I mean, and that's, you know, that's off in a distance, that's off till November. So, you know, the moral of my story tonight is that back to what the vice mayor said, which is a great comment, the best place to live. And thank you. Thank you to all the staff and everybody for everything that they do.
All right. You're exactly right.
All right, Mr. Lyles, I'm done.
All right.
The only thing I was worried about in that whole conversation was your house is kind of close to Lisa's. If you could just like maintain for about 30 more days, you know, till we get it sold, then I really don't care.
You know, the only reason people are buying Lisa's house is because they know how close I live to her. That house. That's the only reason.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, here we go.
That's it.
So, Jeremy, you might tell us whether or not we need to pay any advertising fees. All this good news we've been passing out this evening. Oh goodness!
I'm sure you get plenty of free media.
Yeah, exactly. Thank goodness. All right, folks. Anything further to come before council meeting this evening? All right. Well, thank you for a great meeting. It was short and sweet. Thank you, folks, for all the hard work, and we will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Second. All in favor signify by turning off your computers. Thank you, folks.
Night.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Night.
Good night.
Good night.
Be careful driving home.